Okay, that's what your screen is showing you, right?
That's what it shows.
Okay, see what you...
And I've been looking for all these tools for my drawings, couldn't find them, and I tried to use these tiny arrows to maybe find my way back. I couldn't.
All right, don't worry about it. See what you're gonna do. Go to Windows. Go to that Windows. Windows, yeah, by the right. Continue moving your cursor by. You see that Windows there. Just click on it and go to Workspace.
All I can see is file.
File? No, there is Windows on that same row. Go to Windows. I can see that Windows beside Help.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. So click on it and click on Restore Default Workspace. Restore Default Workspace.
Done that. Yeah.
Is it back?
Oh, but it's back, but I can't find my drawings.
Your drawings. Can you share your screen again? I think you stopped sharing.
I'm still sharing.
Okay, why can't I see?
Yeah, let me just go back because it shows I'm still sharing. No, why? And I can't even see you stop sharing.
So if you can't see your drawing, you look for the layer that contains the drawing on your timeline. It should be there, and then you look. You go through your slider and make sure that your slider is directly on the frame that has the drawing.
No, I can't. That's not drawing.
Okay, just share your screen again. Let me confirm. Let me look at what you did there.
I'm probably going to log out and then come back in because it's not letting me.
All right.
I can't see the share button.
Okay, so okay, you mean log out from the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Okay, you can log out and come understand. So it was maximized. Maybe you mistakenly click on that down arrow and maximize this tab that has the color, the network, and the library. If you want to bring back that tab that you just minimized, just go to this arrow pointing up here and click on it to bring back this tab. Okay? To bring back this tab that you just minimized to show you your two properties and library once again. And if you want to maximize this part and minimize this one on top, just click on the arrow pointing up. The arrow pointing up means that it will push this tab up so that it will maximize it, whereas it will minimize this tab. So if I click on the arrow pointing up, it will maximize that tab that was below so that you can see your layer properties very well and in full view like this. And if you want to still bring back that tab that you just minimized, you simply click on the arrow pointing down. The same thing here on the canvas. You can see this arrow pointing left and right here, right? This one is pointing left, this one is pointing right. So if you click on the one pointing left, you're going to minimize your drawing view, your canvas. So you can see that we can no longer see our canvas. It's still there, but you minimized it by clicking the arrow that was pointing to the left. That means it's going to push everything on the right hand side and cover it for the whole screen. It's going to maximize everything by the right hand side to the left so that it will cover the whole screen. So that's exactly what it did. It maximized the network view and the two properties view that was on the right hand side. If I want to bring back my canvas, that is my work area, just click on the arrow pointing right and it will bring it back. And if you want to also maximize just this part, all right, and remove this part, you click on the arrow pointing right. You can see that it maximized my drawing just to show only my drawing and minimize that part. Maybe you want to have the whole screen to yourself. Now let me show you. If you want to have the whole screen to yourself, you just want to be drawing as if you're drawing on paper without all these other tabs that we are seeing. So simply press the shortcut key, Control F. If you press it once, it's going to remove your timeline view. You can see we can no longer see our timeline view, right? So you can no longer see the timeline view. You can only see the drawing view and the network view. That is these other areas by the side of the drawing view. If you click on Control F again, it will now maximize the whole drawing area. So you now have the whole drawing to yourself. You can now see that you have the whole drawing area to yourself. Every other tab has been minimized. Maybe you want to just concentrate and draw whatever you want to draw in a bigger screen. You want your screen to be bigger and you want to see everything without any other obstruction on the software. You can do that as well. Then if you want to bring back everything, press Ctrl F again. So Ctrl F once, Ctrl F twice, Ctrl F again. You must make sure that your cursor is in the view that you want to maximize by pressing Ctrl F before you press that Ctrl F. For example, if my cursor is found in my network view and I press Ctrl F, what it is going to maximize is my network view. We press Ctrl F again, it's going to show you an enlarged view of the network view. So you make sure that your cursor is at the right place where you want this shortcut to work for you by maximizing it. So if I press Ctrl F, it's going to maximize the drawing view. If I press it again, it's going to maximize the whole view. So probably that's what happened when you showed me your own program when we started this class. That is what happened, and you didn't know how to fix it. So I'm showing you different ways to fix the issue. And if any other thing doesn't work, or if you forgot what I just said, of course I'm recording the video, and you can go to Windows and restore default workspace. It works every time. Okay. All right. So we are going to take a look at this character that we have been creating, and we have drawn the front view, the side view, and the profile view here. So I'm going to bring everything together. I'm going to let me lock this guy. Unlock this guy. Okay, I'm going to bring this one and make sure that it is somewhere in the middle of this guy. Okay, maybe press keep it here. Then I'm going to also bring this one close, somewhere right there. Maybe let's say here. Okay, let's say here. All right. So that if I try to rotate it, if I try to move through the frames, it will look like it is rotating. Okay. So another thing, when you switch on your onion skin, this is what we call the onion skin in the animation toolbar. You know, we have been talking about the tools in the toolbar here. We have been talking about the drawing tools. We also have the animation tools. So the onion skin is part of the animation tools that we can find in the animation toolbar. And if I switch it on, it will enable me to see the previous drawings and the next drawings that we have. I am currently in my side view drawing, but we can see our next drawing, which is in green, and our previous drawing, which is in red color. You can always change the colors you want to be seen as your next and the previous drawing in your settings. That is, if you don't want to be using red and green to indicate your previous drawing.
So it appears they are on different layers, aren't they?
No, they are not on different layers. They are still in the same layer, clockington layer. This clockington is a layer. Then inside that layer.
Yeah, but the three drawings, are they simply on different frames?
Exactly, not layers, frames. They are in the same layer, but in different frames. You understand now? So you create any layer you want to start drawing in. A layer is just like a book. Then pages are just like frames of that same book. Do you understand? So a layer is a book. So you now create a book and you start drawing in the pages of that book. So the pages here refers to as the frames. So clockington is a book or a layer, Then inside clockington, we have pages that we are now drawing on, which is first frame, second frame, third frame. So we drew on 3 frames. We have the front view on the first frame, we have the side view on the second frame, and we have the profile view on the third frame. Actually, the profile view is supposed to come before the side view, because as this guy is rotating, it's going to show the front view, the profile, and the side view. So we are going to interchange their arrangement. We are going to change the arrangement. Now you go to your library. We have not talked about library before. Now if I switch on my onion skin and I go to the third drawing, there is something that you can see here. You can see a red color that is thicker than another red color. We have 2 red colors, right? You can see it, right? So the thicker one shows you the drawing that is closest to the current drawing that you have selected. So the thicker the red outline, the closer that previous drawing is to the current drawing that we are currently on. We are currently on the third frame, but there is a drawing before this third frame, which is very thick with this thick red line. But there's another drawing before that drawing, before the current drawing, which the lines or the red lines are less thicker and brighter, lighter than the other one. Do you understand? So the thicker the red line of a previous drawing, the closer it is to the current drawing that we are in. Do you understand the English? All right. So now I want to show you something about this library. This is called the library view. You can always bring it out in one of your tabs by clicking on this down arrow and looking for it to bring it up if you don't have it already on those tabs. So if I go to my library view, you can go to your drawing substitution. This is what we call drawing substitution. This drawing substitution enables you to change to different drawings that you have created in a particular layer. So currently in this clockington layer, we have 3 drawings, as you can see. Maybe this is the first drawing, and I want to go to this second drawing and change it from side view to profile view. So I'll go to my library view, go to my drawing substitutions, and start to switch these drawings. You can see what is happening when I start to move these sliders. So if I move this slider, you can see the changes that is happening within the drawing substitution, because the drawing substitution is going to show you a preview of the drawing in that particular slide that you are on. So I'm currently on the third drawing here by this slider, and it changed that second drawing to the third drawing. Do you understand?
Right. But you can't actually see this library. In my own view, I can only see the colors and the network.
Okay, you can't see them, right?
I can't see the library.
You can't see it. Okay, if you want to bring up the library in any of these views, just click this down arrow and it will show you these options. Just look for the library and click it to bring it up, to add it to that tab. Okay, you can also do the same thing with the tab down here, even in your canvas, but it's always recommended to leave the library at the side of the canvas, somewhere either down here or up here, wherever you prefer. Have you done that?
Yes, I could see it.
Okay, so now I have changed this side view drawing in the second frame to our third drawing using the drawing substitution in the library view. Now go to the last frame here, the third frame here, and I'll change this drawing to the second drawing, because remember I told you that when a character is rotating, we should be able to see the profile first, then the side view. As you can see, you can see that it's now rotating well, right? The way it should, because we are now seeing the profile first, then the side view. The profile first, then the side, the front, profile, and the side. The front, profile, and the side. So now if we want to get a 360 rotation of this character, we are going to look at how we can put down more drawings to get a 360 rotation of this character. Now this is the front view, Remember, we have this front view, we have this profile, and we have this side view. So let's see how we can now get, now after this side view, we should have the profile back, whereby this character will now rotate, but instead of seeing the front view, part of the front view like this, we are now going to see part of the back view. So see what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch on my onion skin, and if I want to see more than one previous drawing, I can come here. You see this guy, these blue handles. You can see these tiny blue handles by the slider, right? Now the further you place them, the more drawings it sees. The more previous drawing it sees. The further you push it, the more previous drawings. You can see that I can push it as far as possible. You can see that, right? Wherever the slider is, I can push it as far as I want. I can do the same thing with the next drawing. Assuming we have a lot of next drawings and I want to get to a particular one, I can also use the slider in the front to push for next drawings, number of next drawings that I want to see. So I want to see the previous drawing after.
I can't see it in my own.
Okay, make sure that this onion skin is on. Activate it here.
Is the onion skin.
Yeah,
okay.
Just activate it first, then you can see it. You can't see it if it's not activated, because that's basically what it does. Have you done that?
Yeah, so it's there now.
Okay, so let us now draw this profile back from this profile. Remember, I told you that it is easy to get other views once you get the front view, the profile view, and the side view. Remember, we are following some lines so that it will keep the characters in the same volume. It will make the characters have the same volume, size, and shape as well. So we are going to start creating the profile back. Let's see whether we can create this. So what I'm simply going to do, I'm going to trace out the outlines of that profile view, just the profile view that I'm tracing the outlines, not minding the side view that I'm seeing. So I'm going to trace.
Why do you need to do that when you already have a profile? Why don't you copy it?
I can copy it, right? But I'll still need to remove some parts of that profile so that it will look like this character is actually facing us from the back or something, facing us as in backing us rather, right? So just watch. You can still do exactly what you said, but that one will take more time, and I think this method is better. I can actually simply come here and start removing some part of this, but I might end up deleting some parts that I don't want to delete, like I deleted this part now. Have you seen it, right? So, but I want to now do it myself, just trace out the drawings myself. You see, I didn't even undo what I did. All right, so I'll just gradually trace out the outlines, especially the parts that are outside of this character, outside of the character itself. I'm looking for the right English. English I have to try Igbo. Where? Okay, so I'm going to continue doing this. Remember, this leg is at the back, so this leg will now come out because it's already at the back from the profile view. So this one is going to face here. Remember, I'm still tracing from that profile, my profile back. I'm still tracing it from the profile view, and I'll draw this. I'll clean up this and add my design here. Then I'll come here and now, because of the fact that this character is facing the back, facing us, backing us, I'll now draw the leg this way. All right, you can see that it's already taking shape a little bit. So now this part let us see how we can be able to do this part. So this part, I think, should come here if I'm right. Okay. Okay. So let me go back to this guy, see what I'm doing here. Okay. So remember, this is the back view. So I think it should go this way. Drawing shapes that are uncommon can be a little bit tasking. So let's come here and still draw this hand. Okay. Okay. Draw this hand. Now this hand will come out somewhere here. Let me look at my side view. Okay, so I'll continue to draw this. Okay, this hand should come inside. So you should be able to see it. If the size of your brush is too big, like this one is too large, you can actually reduce it. It's currently at 50. I can reduce it to about 20. So you can see that it has reduced.
A brush for pencil, just say that.
Yeah, I'm using a brush. They use a brush, Kita. As you can, I'm not currently on the brush. This is the pencil, but the brush is activated currently. I prefer using the brush.
Yeah, any reason you use the brush instead of pencil?
Yeah, no reason. I just prefer to use brush most of the time.
Okay.
Because of how flexible I think it is. My own opinion.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but we'll try and see if I get something out of it. All right. So the only issue now is here, but we'll see what we can do about it. All right. So you can see that this guy is already looking like he's facing profile back view. So we can come here and start putting down these. I think it should be this way. It should actually be this way.
So is this what I'm going to do with any character at all? Yeah, I have to create the front, side, profile, front, and back.
No, it's not necessary. It depends on the project you're working on. Okay. Sometimes you might not need to create a 360 view of a character depending on the project you're working on. If you're working on a personal project and your character doesn't need to turn around in any circumstances, then you don't need to.
Still down throughout.
Yeah, maybe you can just draw the front view and the profile and side view, and that's all. Or maybe just the front view, depending on the kind of animation and what you want your character to do. But if you are working in a professional environment, maybe in a studio, and as an animator, I think it's very, very important you have this kind of knowledge of creating characters in 360 views, because you won't know what you'll be asked to do. So that is what I'm actually teaching you so that anywhere you find yourself as an animator, you'll be able to flourish well in that aspect, not just creating the front view and the profile and the side view. Okay, so I'm trying to see how I can accommodate this arm and also draw this guy. I think this guy should. I think this guy should come like this, but it's not correct. It's not right. Supposed to be like this, right? I think it's supposed to be like this, right? So maybe let's leave it this way. Okay. Then we can come up here and start drawing these guys at the tip. You can see that creating.
I think I lost the signal. I couldn't hear you.
Oh, sorry. So I was talking about trying to create this handle, recreate it in this view. So we are trying to see what it should look like in this view. Now it should be here. should be here. Then I should draw it this way. Okay, and it should come like this. Then I can draw this one. Let me go back to this guy and see exactly where it should be. Okay, so this one should be at the front of this guy. Okay, and this one should be here. Then we have this one should cover them, because if you look at the profile view, this one is actually at the back, but in the back view it should be at the front. Do you understand? So the back is the opposite of the front view, and the profile back is the opposite of the profile view. Sure, you understand? Okay, so this one should, if I'm correct, should come here. Let's just say should come like so. All right, so this is it for the profile back. Okay, we can call this profile back. Then we can now come to the front view. The front view should be easier to do than the profile back that took us a long while to do. So what we are going to do, we are going to maybe shift these other views, delete this guy to draw an in between here. Then we are going to copy this time around. Let's copy this guy.
Your screen is not changing. It's been static here for a while, so I can't actually see.
You should be a little bit easier than the profile back. I mean, getting the back view should be a little bit easier than the profile back. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to come here and maybe okay, so the front view, if I want to get a back view from my front view, what I'm going to do, I'm going to shift these frames and delete a frame here. Then what I'm going to do again is bring in this slider so that I will not be able to see my previous, any of my next view. I only want to see my previous view, so that I will not confuse myself if I'm trying to draw the back view. This green, this next view that is in green color or outline is kind of confusing. So I will remove it, toggle it off by moving this slider all the way back. All right. So I will start to trace, or let me copy, Control C, come here, Control V, and now remove just this inner portion. Just select all the inner portions and remove them. Then I'll come here. You know, this arm is at the back, and this is the back. So this arm should come right here. Sure, you understand what I'm trying to do? You understand, right? Okay. So, and this one will also. This one will also.
Oh, because it's going to be it's going to be behind this time.
Exactly. This is the back view. So everything that was behind is now in front. The arm, you can see that the arm was behind, but it's now in front here. Okay. So, and this guy is also going to be in front this time around, because they were behind. So they are now going to be in front. Okay. And the legs as well. So you can see how easy it is to get the other views. Once you have your front view, your profile view, and your side view, you can now easily get the other views from them. Okay, so now this feet, and also this arm or this hand shouldn't be this way. It's going to be like so. Okay, we are going to see the front of this hand, okay, instead of the back. So I'm trying to draw it. Okay, trying to draw it.
Will it be the little finger that we'll see from this end? Will it be the little finger that we see?
Yeah, exactly. You are getting it. So let's try and yeah, the little finger should come first, right? And then this other one should come. The middle finger should come next. Yeah, we are getting it now. You're actually following, and this one should now come next, and we now have this. Wow, this is nice. Okay, so you can see what it looks like in the back view, right? Because if you go to the front view, this is the hand, and if you go to the back view, we are supposed to see the palm of the hand in the front view. So in order not to do the same thing here, I'll just copy this guy, Control C, Control V, and I will just go to my two properties, and I will interchange it. Like I will switch it to the other side, flip it, and bring it here. Then I'll remove this one first. Then I can bring this guy in. Easy. All right. So you can see that you can actually just easily do this. I think this guy is on snap. Why is he on snap? He's on snap. Okay. So I think we are done with the back view. You can see how easy it is to do the back view. So this is our back view of this character. So we can now start to arrange them to make it look like it is rotating. So we can now go to our library and look for our back view and post our back view. So the character will just rotate this once. But if we want it to rotate 360, all we need to do is come to this profile view, copy it, Control C, Control V, paste it, then flip it over. Flip it, and you get your rotation. To flip to the other side, you get a rotation in this case, and let's move it a bit. Okay, and you do the same thing for the side view. I think so. Yeah, the side view. You Control C, then come here, Control V, and flip it. All right. You do the same thing. Okay, I think what we are supposed to flip was the profile back first. We are supposed to flip the profile back first before the profile. So we are going to flip, we are going to do Control C, Control V for the profile back, then flip it and post it, then also bring up our profile, the other side of the profile, then our front view will now come next. Then see what happens if I try to play this animation. Let me extend this exposure. I believe you already know how to extend exposure, right? Okay, so I'm going to play this. You can see what is happening, right? Let me bring back this slider and play it. So you can see if I loop it. So you can see what this character looks like when it is flipping, because I drew the all the views the way they should. Then if I now flip it, you can see that it is flipping perfectly the way it should. I can even decide to add in-betweens and even make it look much better if I want to, but let's just leave it at that. Remember, we said that we are going to detail this character, that this is just the sketch of this character, or we can actually go ahead and use it this way. But this character is not looking very well detailed. I really want us to detail this character, make it look nicer, because it looks like it is a sketch, which it is actually is. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a new drawing. So click on this icon to create a new drawing in the timeline view, or you go to your network and you click on this file icon here, insert drawing elements, which stands for drawing. So in the newer versions of Toon Boom, they changed this name of this feature to drawing. So you know that when you click on this guy, you are adding a new drawing. So if I click it, it will create a new drawing, but it will not be connected it will not be connected to the composite. So you need to connect it yourself. But if you create it on the timeline view, it's going to connect automatically. As you can see, I just created it on the timeline from the timeline view, and it connected automatically. So 2 ways of creating your drawing. I think there is a shortcut, but I can't remember the shortcut because I'm not used to it for creating drawing in the network view. But I can't remember it because I don't normally use it to create drawing, because I can easily click on this icon to create my drawing here, or click on this guy to create it as well. Go ahead.
Can I please confirm what icon you chose to add a drawing? Because what I can see here is either add layer or add a drawing layer.
Yeah.
Add peg.
Add drawing layer.
Is that it?
Yes, add drawing layer. No. That's a layer. So
okay.
Just like the book we are talking about, the illustration, using the book illustration, layer represents book that contains frames or pages. Here you grab. Yeah. So that's the layer. So you click on this icon to add a drawing layer. This one is for adding pegs. It's different from a drawing layer. I think we have talked about it.
And you said it's not going to be automatically connected.
Yeah, it's not going to be automatically connected if you create the drawing from the network view here. This is your network view, or your node view, or network view. If you create your drawing by clicking on this icon, I'm going to insert element is for drawing. Okay, the key is Control R. So the shortcut for adding a drawing in the network is Control R. So when you click Control R, you can see that it's added this drawing, but it will not be connected. Once you add a drawing from the network, it will not be connected. You will have to connect it yourself.
If I add it from those tools at the bottom, it will be connected to
exactly.
it.
Just click on this, bam. It has added it, but it's connected. You can see that it's connected.
Okay.
Yeah. So you can just bring it up to organize it a little bit more. Okay. So 2 ways of creating that drawing that I just showed you now. So we have created a drawing. We can call this maybe clean or details, or clean details of our clockington, and we create it and we go to our drawing tool. Okay, so this circle, this guy should be a perfect circle, is it not? But we sketched it. We used the normal pen to sketch it. So I'm going to go to my shape tool. You go to your ellipse. And go to the 2 properties of my ellipse to make sure that I have the correct setting for this ellipse. Maybe if you want the lines to be very thick, maybe if I place change this thing to 20 and I draw, you can see how thick these lines are. But I don't want it that thick. I want it to be a little bit thinner, so I can use 8 like it was on. Then I can create it again. Now, if you draw freehand, it's going to give you any shape as long as you are moving your keyboard, your mouse, or your pen on the screen. It will give you any shape, any oval shape. But if I draw and hold down Shift, it's going to create a perfect circle, as you can see. And if I draw and hold down Shift and Alt, it's going to create this circle from the middle of that circle, from the diameter of the circle. You can see that it's creating the circle from the middle, and I'm increasing it from the middle of the circle. If I remove my hand from Alt, it's going to create this perfect circle from anywhere, not from the middle, as you can see. But if I hold Shift and Alt, it's going to create it from the middle of this circle. So it doesn't matter, as long as you create this perfect circle. I can bring it down. And try to position it to the sketch. I think I should go to my drawing view. Drawing view should be better. So try to position it. You know, I use this sketch, so this circle is not going to fit in exactly with the sketch, because the sketch is not
but it's almost the same size now.
Yes. All right. You can see that they are not the same size. And any shape drawing or shape layer that you use will always be in pencil. So my circle is a pencil line, has pencil lines. That is, you can see that the contours are in the middle.
In the middle, yeah.
Instead of at the edges like a brush. That is how it always is if you are using a shape tool. Shape tools use pencil outlines, which are always in the middle. So I've drawn this circle to represent the whole of the face. I will Control C and Control V this circle and decrease it so I can get my eyes. I can Control C and V again so I can get the smaller eyes. So you see how easy it can be to just create this character. I can select these two, Control C and V, shift it to the other side to get my other eye. I can select the smallest one, Control C and V, shift to this point to get this point here. As simple as that. Then the next thing I'm going to do, let me see what I can still do with this shape. I can go to my shape here and still use my circle, but this time around it's going to be an oval, right? For this handle here. And I can use my select to select it and rotate it to conform to this sketch. You can see how easy it is. I can still do Control C and V and shift this guy to this point and rotate it horizontally and conform it. Because I want this guy to be at this guy, I want it to be exactly the same size with this. I'm not going to reduce it to fit into the sketch. Do you understand? Because this in the sketch,
because
this guy is not the same size.
So you can copy this one.
Exactly. So I'm going to leave it this way because I want them to be equal, right? Because this is a copy of this, so and I want them to be equal. So I'm leaving it this way. So let's look for another thing we can use our shape tool to do. We can even come here and draw this. Maybe this the lines are a little bit thicker than we want. We can reduce it to 6 because this is the mouth that we want to draw. You can reduce it to 6 and get this. Then go to your contour editor and start to manipulate this guy to fit in to this mouth. You start to manipulate it to fit in to this mouth. You can see that you can actually use your mouse to do these details. That is clean up after sketching. You can actually use mouse without having to use your pen. So I can just get it this way, right? Next, I will use my select to select it, Control C and V, then reduce the size to fit the one in the inner mouth rather. Then I can now use my normal contour editor and I will start to continue to control and manipulate the Bezier handles. I've already taught you a little bit about Bezier and we'll continue to use it as we go on with this class. All right, so I'll continue to manipulate this guy to get what I want. Okay, and I'll move it maybe here. All right, so I think we almost got done with the mouth. So the next thing, remember these guys are going to be different. They are going to be on different layers. All these things I'm drawing in one layer right now, they are all going to be in different layers, but I want to get them at this point so that I will start to cut them from this layer and push them to their own layers when the time comes. So I'm going to leave the teeth and the tongue for now, and I'll leave the mustache for now because I don't want them to clash with each other, because if I start to draw the mustache, it's going to cover this mouth, and this mustache is supposed to be on their own layers, right? So I'm going to do that later. So the next thing I'm going to do, even these guys at the top here are going to be on their own layers. So I'm going to, or should we even start doing it on their own layers immediately? So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to draw this guy. You can still use shape tool to do this, what I'm doing right now. Let's do that. So I'll go to my rectangle and I'll just draw a rectangle here, right? Select it, rotate it, position it here. Then use my contour and start to shape it. start to shape it as usual. Okay, start to shape it, start to shape it, start to shape it as usual, and shape this guy, shape this guy. Simple as that. Simple as that. All these things are going to be on their own layers. So I'm going to just do one side of the body. Then you can come to the hand and either you draw it on this layer. Then let's just draw it on this layer. Later we are going to shift them on their own layers. So I'm going to draw, use my normal brush and draw this guy carefully until I get what I want here. I'll leave it the way it is for now. Then I'm going to draw this guy. Okay. I will also show you how to start making use of effects so that by the time we start rotating this guy, we start seeing this edge of this handle here. We'll know how to fit it in to this guy here, so that as it is rotating, it will really look like it is actually rotating. Do you understand? So I will continue to draw this guy. I think I might finish this guy maybe. Okay, we are going to finish this guy in the next class. Then we'll continue pushing them in other layers. So we are going to, in fact, in the next class, let us immediately move to creating different layers and pushing all these parts of the character to those layers. That is the detailed drawing, so that we will not waste much time on that. So I'm going to now start to create these numbers. Carefully start creating them.
Is there a way you can, just like you selected the lines automatically, is there a way you can select numbers and the style of the number you want to create?
You can actually do that with your text too, right? But the text too in Toon Boom Harmony is not perfect. But let's see if we can do that with the text too. So I'll click on my text too and activate it.
Where is it?
This is the text to the T.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I'll just create a new drawing to test it out. So I'm on my text tool. I'll go to my two properties of the text tool. You go to font. You can see that we have different fonts for this text tool. There are actually many of them, right? There are actually many fonts. You can see bold and also italics. That is, if you want it to be in italics. If you want it to be bold.
Digital.
All right. So I'll just click anywhere here. 1. You can see we can actually do it. 12. Right? It's already on italics. That is why it is this way. Okay. And we can select it and push it here and reduce the size. Easy peasy, right? But it's on italics. I don't want it to be in italics. So let's do another one and deactivate italics. One, you see it's better this way.
That makes more sense.
Yeah, I can now shift it and we can still change the color if we want. But let's just leave it at black for now. We'll change the color.
And can you change the thickness at all?
Yeah, we can change the thickness during when I was creating the text. For example, if I click on it, I think the thickness is supposed to be somewhere here. But if you cannot change it from the... Okay, I don't think there's a way to change it from the text. So we are going to see if we can change it from the contour editor. The contour editor, I think it doesn't work well. That is why I don't like using text tool, because text tool is very special in this Toon Boom. You can't just manipulate it anyhow you want. Like I can't use my contour editor to edit it because it's a text tool. So I'll try and see if I can convert this text tool to break apart text layers. So this one will actually help me to break these two letters apart, because both of them were actually attached, as you can see. but I can break them apart by going to animation, convert, and break apart text layers. Let's see if it will work. So it still won't work. Let's select it, go to drawing, convert, and strokes to pencil lines. So let's see whether it will work. Still not work, but I'm sure there should be a way to create contour strokes. Okay, remove contours, remove extras, optimize. So let's continue doing. I'm sure there's a way to make this contour editor work on text layers, but there are some things that you need to do first. Crop brush textures, create contour strokes. Okay, let's do this. It's still not working, right? So, but we can actually see the problem is if we increase it, we don't want to increase it, right? We don't want to increase it. So this is one of the reasons why I don't like using text to create text on Toon Boom, because it won't give you the flexibility you want to control it, to manipulate it the way you want. So, but if I use my brush tool to just create it, even though it will not be perfect with hand, I can actually now go in and start to manipulate it the way I want. But the same thing cannot be said for a text tool. But let us try and see if we can. Let's say indent. Okay, maybe let's do one. Select it. Let's go to text and let's see. It won't work. It won't work out. So let's just leave it the way it is for now. Let's just leave it the way it is. Let's continue creating the other ones using the same text tool. So we create one. Okay, we create one. Sorry, create one, and we create two. Okay, let's just move these ones first. Reduce the size and reduce the size. So we continue to do the same thing for all these guys. We create this one, go to select, create 4, go to select, create 5, create 5, go to select, create 6, and go to select. Now let's move these ones.
Why do you keep going back to select? Because you already, if you pick up the text, you have to go back and click on it each time you want to create a number.
Yes, if I don't do that, it will remain at one spot. For example, if I create 3 and I try to, okay, I think it will work. I don't need to go to select actually. Yeah, I don't need to go to select actually. I'm not used to this text tool at all. I don't even use it at all in Toon Boom, but we have to use it for this class. So at least it will also make me to learn more about it. Okay, so we go to 7, create 7, 8, create 8, 9, then 10 and 11. Okay, so we now go to our select and start to position them. And that will be some are bigger than the others. Okay. All right. Then here's my 11. Okay, I think let us remove. Okay. All right, so we can select all of them, Control X, and paste them on our clean line add layer. All right, and we can now come down to the leg and draw. Let's increase the size of this guy. Let's increase the size to 10 or maybe 8. Let's do 8. And draw our leg, go to our contour editor and start to manipulate it as usual. Okay. Okay, if I can. All right. So we manipulate this, we position it correctly, and that is it. Then we go to the leg as well and create the leg, the shoe. Okay, and that is it. All right, on that eye layer, then I'll bring in the other layer, another layer, and connect it. Then call this pupil, right? Then I'll go to my clean line art and Control C, copy the pupil here. Then go to my pupil right and Control V to paste it. Let me take these guys off. You will see that this network view, the layers, the nodes on this network view will continue to increase as I continue to add more drawing layers here. So
what's that parent node that you are connecting all of them to?
That is the composite. We have talked a little bit about the composite. I said before that the composite will bring every layer together and connect them, and also be able to see it when it is connected to this display. So the component is like a parent to every other layers that we are working on in Toon Boom Harmony. So the component connects all elements together and pushes them out to be seen on the screen using the display here. So the component connects to the display and also the right. The right will allow us to change the resolution of whatever final product we are going to see on the screen, any resolution that we want for this, I think this guy is hanging, any resolution that we want for this guy, you can see it on the right node. Okay, so if we want to export this guy as PNG images, as TGA, as PNG, as Photoshop file, you can see it in your right node. And also, if you want to export in any resolution that you want, that is the X resolution and the Y resolution, you can actually use this right node to also do that. Then the display will ensure that whatever we are working on the canvas is being seen on the screen here. So if we switch off the display and you go to your camera view, which is where you are going to, the final place you are going to see whatever artwork we are working on, if you render it out, you will see that we are no longer going to see anything. Of course, you can see it in the drawing view, because the drawing view is not the final view of whatever you are trying to do. The drawing view is just there for you to work on as a frame by frame artist. But if we try to render this guy from this place, you are not able to render from the drawing view. That is a final artwork. You can't render a final artwork from the drawing view. Rather, you will have to go to your camera view and switch on to your render view, which is this, for you to be able to see the final video of whatever you are working on. But you can't see anything because we are not connecting the display to the composite. So if you connect the display to the composite, that is when you are able to see something. But of course, we can't see anything because we are working with black lines, right? And the render view is already black, so we are not going to see anything. But if you want to see your work, let us switch back to the OpenGL view. If you want to see your work, you can look for color, what is it called? Color node or something like that. Color card, yeah, color card. So I'll go to my library. You know, I'm not actually used to this old version of Toon Boom. So the color card normally is seen on the timeline where you see some of these icons here. It's normally there, but it's not here. I think it should be in the plus sign. Okay, it's in the plus sign, but I've already brought it in from the module library. So if you connect it, it will turn your canvas to white. So if I render this, you'll be able to see whatever you were doing in the render view, because you are using the color card that have made this canvas to look like, at least to look white and no longer black. But if I remove my color card, you can no longer see anything because the default color for this render view is black. So that's by the way. Let's continue doing what we are doing. So we go to the pupil right. Let's go to our, we have copied and pasted the pupil right. So let's just focus on one side of the character, then we can copy and paste the other side when we are done. So we are going to connect this. We can call this brow right, then draw a simple brow. Okay, maybe let me extend it a bit more, like so. So we have drawn one of the brows. We are still coming to the other one. We are going to copy everything from the right side to the left when we are done with this. So we connect the next one, and maybe let's call, what are we going to call this? Is it clock control or clock point?
So when you select those nodes, how do you know what exactly you're selecting?
When I select which node?
The nodes that you're connecting to the parent or the composite.
Okay, now
the composite. How do you know the elements of the character you are selecting?
Remember that
because I can see you are labeling them, and as it looks now, I can't really identify what exactly, whether it's the eye pupil or the brow.
Okay. Hold on, I understand what you're trying to say. Now I just created these drawing nodes, and I disconnected them, all of them, and placed them aside. There is no drawing on them currently. They are all empty, but they are not connected to the composite.
How did you create them?
They say just go to the timeline like I've told you, and just continue clicking on create drawing layer. Continue clicking it. You can see that they are appearing as I'm clicking it, right? They are appearing 1721, blah 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 blah. They will continue to appear and connect to each other here, right? Connect to the composite here. Then all I had to do was just to start disconnecting them. Okay, if you want to disconnect a node easily without having to go here and start to unplug the wires that might be confusing, just click on one node and drag it. This one's already okay. This one is not disconnected. Now to disconnect easily, hold down Alt. You see what happened? If I hold down Alt and release your mouse or pen, and that node will be disconnected. Go to the next one, hold down Alt, release your mouse first before you release Alt, and the node will be disconnected. Continue doing it for the other ones, and until everything is disconnected, then you can select everything and move them somewhere here. So that's exactly what I did here. Okay, do you understand now?
Well, I do. It only is not happening with mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Because when I hold down Alt and I drag it, okay, yeah, it happens now.
Okay. Okay. You know, Tumbo. One thing about Tumbo is constant practice. When you continue to practice constantly, you will continue to grasp more and more of it. So I'll call this clock point, and I'll go back to my clean liner and copy that clock point and go to that new layer called clock point and paste it there. Then I'll bring in another drawing, connect it, and call this mustache right. That is right mustache. I use my brush tool and simply draw this mustache like this and close it up. Remember to always close up your drawings so that when you are coloring it, it will the color will be able to hold it. All right, so I'll click here and bring in another drawing. This is basically what you have to be doing to be creating layers upon layers for a cutout animated character. So I'll call this one, let's call this one lips. Okay, I'll call it lips. Then I'll go to my clean liner and copy this mouth, Ctrl C, then go to lips and Ctrl V and paste it. Then I'll bring in another one and call this gum. I'll call it gum. The inner part of the mouth, we'll call it gum. And what I'll do, I'll just use maybe my ellipse Or I might not even need my ellipse. I'll go to this ellipse and use my select tool and select the inner portion of this ellipse and do Ctrl C, go to my gum and do Ctrl V and paste it, and maybe increase it a bit because I want this to be the inside of the mouth. Okay, use my control editor to maybe manipulate these contour points a bit. Do we understand so far?
Not completely, because when I try to, like you are doing all this labeling, I can't really get to that box where you can
change the name.
Yes.
Okay, so if you want to be able to click on any of these layers easily, just zoom in by clicking 2 and 1 is for zooming in. 2 1 2 1. So that's why shortcut is very good. Your keyboard should be your friend when you are working in Toon Harmony. 2 1, zoom in, zoom out. You can go to any of the tabs and do the same thing, especially if it is the canvas or the network view. You can zoom in and out using 2 1. So if you can be able to click on that yellow icon beside the node from a far distance, you can zoom in to see it clearly. Then you can click on the yellow square. Click on the yellow square to bring in the properties. Then you can change the name in the name box to whatever you want. Okay, so I'll go to the next one. I will connect this guy. Remember, when you want to connect, you have to click on the bottom of the node with this blue port and start dragging out a wire. When you start dragging out a wire and you start moving the wire will continue to move with you, but you have to zoom out and carefully start dragging the wire. You can hold your space while still holding down your mouse or your stylus, your pen, and locate the composite in order to connect it there. All right, so once you connect it, you can go back. Let's name this guy handle. Let's call it handle right, rather. Handle RGT for right. Then we can go to our clean details and copy that handle, the right one, Ctrl C, and go to the handle right and Ctrl V. Okay, so the next thing we are going to do, we forgot to finish up the mouth, so let's do the teeth. So we'll bring in another layer, connect it, and call this teeth, and simply draw in your teeth. You can also use your shape tool, but let's just use our brush. Just draw it like that. Then we bring in another layer from the layers we have here that are not connected. Connect this guy and call this one the tongue. The tongue. Okay. Then also draw a tongue. Okay, you might decide to draw it this way and make sure you complete it, because these guys are going to be inside other drawings, so those parts that we covered are not going to be seen. All right, so we continue to.
So can I ask?
Yeah.
When I zoom out and I still want to centralize the drawing to come so that I can visualize it properly, like centralize the drawing, what would I do? Because sometimes when you zoom, they disappear.
Okay, now you go to your view. If you go to your view, you can see zoom in. The shortcut is 2. You can see zoom out. The shortcut is 1. You want to toggle full screen, like I've told you before. Ctrl F, Ctrl F. Continue doing it just to see the full screen and also to come back to the normal screen. You can reset your rotation, reset your pan, reset your view. Shift M. So if you want to reset your view, maybe you zoomed in too much or you zoomed out too much and you're not able to see your artwork again, just go to view and reset your view, right? or reset zoom. Any one of them will work exactly the way you want it. I believe this one is clear, right?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I will continue to connect some of these drawings here. I'll connect this one next, and let's see what we are going to copy next. We are going to copy the middle handle. Let's call this middle handle, and we are going to go to that clean details, then copy this guy, Control C and Control V. Then I think we are going to cover it up, finish drawing it like so. There will be another one that we are supposed to draw inside this guy, maybe one like this. Okay, so we are going to have two of this. I think so. We're going to have two of this guy. We're going to copy it so that one will be in each other. All right, so the next one, let's see what we are going to copy next. Let's copy the arm. Next, rigging a character. Designing and rigging a character can take from hours to some days, depending on the complexity of the character in any professional setting. And this character is very complex. We are not actually supposed to learn with this kind of character because it's very complex with all the different parts and everything. But since we have started using it, so we'll have to finish it. I believe you are capable of taking it. Okay, so let's call this arm. Right. Then go back to the clean line art and just copy this part of the hand, just this part, not the hand itself, the arm, and paste it here. Then we can bring in another one and connect it. This hand is going to have multiple drawing what we call drawing substitutions, like I've shown you before, because the hand can close, can open, it can, do different kind of gestures. So we are going to have different hand drawing very soon. So hand, let's call this hand.
When you copy, excuse me.
Yeah.
When you copy from the clean layer, some parts, and then you paste them directly on the new layers you've created, how do you do that? Just paste on the node?
Now, if I want to copy, let me use this one for example. I've created this hand, right hand. Then I'll make sure you select the clean details. I'm using my timeline view and my network view so that it will be easy for me. If I wanted to get to where this hand right is in the timeline view, it is all the way up in the timeline, right? But I don't want to be scrolling up and down, copying and pasting. So all I have to do is make sure I have to ensure that in my network view, the hand is zoomed in so that I can easily select it and paste whatever I've copied into it. So any layer you select is actually the one that is active. Any layer that is selected is active. Now, if I select my clean details in my timeline,
the layer is selected on the network.
It's also selected. Yeah, the clean details is also selected in the network. But I am currently zoomed in where my right hand is, hand right. But if I go to where the clean details is, you can see that it is selected. You can see it from the way it is highlighted as compared to the other layers around it, right? But I don't want to be selecting it this way and zooming out and also scrolling all the way to reach the hand right here. So all I have to do is come to the timeline view and ensure that I am close to where the clean details is, so I can easily copy the part of the character I want to copy, Control C, then go to my network view and select the hand right. It's the same thing as selecting a layer in the timeline view. Any layer you select in the network view will automatically be selected in the timeline view. So I'll now go to my network view, select the hand again, and Control V to paste. I've pasted this hand, then I will cover it up. We will still have to make sure that this arm is going through this hand and not behind it. So we are going to see how we can do that with time. All right, so I'll bring in the next one. And I will connect it to the composite. Then I'll go to my clean line art. Let's see the next drawing that we can. Okay, I think we should have something that connects this left handle. So let's go to that handle. Let's say handle connection or connector. Handle connects. Let's say con underscore right. Okay, that is handle connector right. Then we can just draw this guy. It's just a simple rectangle that we can either use shape to draw or use our normal pen brush. Okay, so I've drawn it. Then we go to the next one, which should be the feet, the legs. I think so. Yeah, the legs. We are going to come to the numbers after the legs. So we are going to copy. I'm going to copy this leg, Control C. Then I will connect another layer to the composite and call it leg left. Since this one is on the left hand side, I'll call it leg left and Control V to paste that drawing there. Then the last one here, I'll connect the feet. I'll call it feet left. Then I'll go to my clean line art, select it, select everything, Control C, then go to my left feet or left foot, Control V, I think should be foot. Okay, so I think we are done with getting most of these parts of these characters. Let us now finish up with the letters. We have not drawn. Okay, we said that we are going to use the mustache as the clock handles. Are we going to use the mustache as the clock handles, or are we going to draw our own clock handles? Yeah,
we can use the mustache.
The mustache, right? You can go here and go. I think that would be good. Okay, you can go there. You can go there. All right. So we are going to use the mustache. Okay. So we are now going to create the numbers.
Hello.
Hi. How are you doing? Okay. So yeah. So the numbers. I'll call this the numbers, NOS for numbers, and I'll go to my clean line art again. So I'll copy everything that has to do with the numbers here. I'm just selecting everything and holding down Shift to select all, then Control C, then go to my numbers and do Control V. Now for these numbers are supposed to have be on their own layer separately, each of the numbers. Because when I start to rotate it, they might not be fixed exactly the way they are supposed to be fixed if they are on one layer. So they are going to be in different layers. Although I think if they are on one layer, I think it might still be okay if we leave them on one layer. I think let's leave it on one layer for now. All right. So you can see all the different layers that we have created. We have created a lot of layers for this single character called clockington. And if we remove the visibility of our clean details and also the other one, you can see that this character is already looking polished the way it should because of how detailed it is.
On the clean, is this the clean layer?
Yeah, this is the layers with the different at the different parts of the body that we just created using the clean line art layer, of course. right? So remember, we have not copied some of these other parts to the other side that we are supposed to do. So we are going to do that.
Can we duplicate that somewhere? Yeah.
So we are going to do that, but before we do that, let us reorganize these layers the way they are supposed to be. So the reason why I said, you see, one of the reasons why I said that working in the network view is better than the timeline is that it is easier for you to organize layers in the network view as compared to the timeline view. Now, if you come to the face, we are supposed to know that the eyes, the brows, and the pupils are supposed to be on the same parent. They are supposed to be parented together, because when we are moving the elements of the eyes, the pupil, and the brow, they are supposed to move together. The same thing with the mouth. Every part of the mouth, the teeth, the tongue, the gum, and the lips, they are all supposed to move in one accord. So I think we are going to start with that. So these are the mouth layers that we have here, 4 of them. So what we are going to do, before we do that, let's parent all of them. How do you parent different layers at the same time without having to parent them one after the other? For example, I can go to my numbers and click on this icon that says add peg. Adding peg means parenting. So if I click on this peg, it will add this peg, but it will place it where we don't want it to be. We want it to be at the top, so that we will not have to start zooming out and start dragging them from all the way down where they will be placed if we create them that way. So what I'm going to do, if I click on one layer and I do Control P for peg, to add peg, that will automatically parent the layer that you have selected. Let me do it again. If I select the numbers layer and I do Control P, it will create a peg that will serve as a parent of this guy, that is the node layer. Now, how do we do it for all of them at once without having to go in and start doing Control P, Control P, Control P? If you select Control P to be parenting them, how do we do this at once? Now watch the magic. So if I zoom out and I click and hold my mouse and try to form a selection, you can see this rectangular line that I'm forming. That means this is the extent that I want to select. The 2 other layers that are in red means that these 2 layers are not active. They are switched off, so I can't see their components or their contents. But I want to select from here, that is with this rectangle selection, from here to here. If I do the selection, you can see that the look of all the layers changed to show that they're all selected. For you to know that a layer is selected, you can see that the color of the lines become very thick blue, very thick dark blue, and the layers themselves become brighter. That means they are selected currently. So what I'll do Control Shift P. See what happened? It added pegs to all those layers that we have selected, all of them. So I don't need to start going in one after the other and start to add layers one after the other. You can see that it actually added the peg to all the layers at once. Do you understand this one?
I do understand it, thank you.
Okay.
But my question is, if I thought, for instance, if you want to assemble all the components of the mouth to one parent, that you are going to generate just one parent and then link teeth, tongue, lips to this parent.
Now, yeah, you can do that. But I want all the layers to have their own parent, because I can decide to animate that particular layer without it affecting other layers connected to it. I can still decide to, I know what you're saying.
And that makes sense.
Now, see what you are saying. For example, let me use the tongue, the maybe lips, for example. Let me say that the lips will now be the parent to the gum, the teeth, the tongue, and all that. Now, if I connect the peg for the tongue, the teeth, and the gum together to the lips, and I go to my what is it called? I go to my camera view. You can see that it is moving everything. It is moving both the teeth that is on this whole layer. It is moving also the tongue, and I don't want that sometimes. I want to have the flexibility of moving each of these guys on their own, like you can see here. So we have added all these guys now. The next thing we are going to do, we are going to start to start to position these pegs, the rotation point of these pegs, exactly where they are supposed to be. There's something we call pivot points for pegs. Pivot points are points of rotation and manipulation of a particular layer connected to a peg. So let's do it one by one. So if I go to my numbers, oh, you can see that my numbers was also connected to my leg, right? So that's a mistake. So we can fix that. All I have to do is just what is that? I will just Ctrl X and paste it at the right place. Let's paste it at the right place. Delete this guy. Hold on. I think there might be some mistake here. Let me see where the mistake is coming from. Let's go to the drawing. Okay, numbers. All right. Okay, so now what I was saying was, if I go to my peg for the numbers, I want to position this peg exactly where I want these numbers to rotate from. You can see this point you see here is what we call the pivot point. This point you see here. So this is the point these numbers will rotate from. If I rotate these numbers, you can see they are rotating from this point, right? I don't want that. I want them to rotate from the middle. That is, if I want to rotate them, I want them to rotate from the middle. How do you do that? You go to your advanced animation tools here. You click on one of them, either the rotation tool or the transform tool or the scale tool. You can click any one of them, but normally it's supposed to be the rotation tool that you use to manipulate or position the pivot point. So I'll click on the rotation tool here. If it's not on your own, you go to animation and look for advanced animation. I think it should be in Windows, right? Look for toolbars, advanced animation. Okay, it's currently ticked, so that is why you are seeing this. So if I click on it, I can now go and position this peg where I want it. So if I use my transform tool, you can see that these numbers are rotating exactly from where the pivot point is. Now I will do the same. I will do the same thing for the mustache, because I want them to rotate from the middle, of course, for a clock. So I will continue to do this for all the layers. So the left foot, I will place my pivot point right at the tip, maybe somewhere here, so I can rotate.
So what did you when you are talking about pivot point, what did you click on?
All right.
To start with?
Okay, I said if you want to place your pivot point at a particular place where you want the character to rotate from or be manipulated from, you go to your advanced tools here. Click on the rotation tool and it will change. Make sure you are highlighting the peg you want to use the pivot rotation tool on, and you click on the rotation tool. It will give you this handle here. Then go to the middle of that handle and make sure that your cursor is perfectly placed on the middle of that handle, so that you can position your pivot point where you want the layer to rotate from. Right? I want it to rotate from here. So I'll position it there. So if I click on that at the edges of that rotation tool, it will rotate from there. I can also,
for instance, like parts of the body, the normal human body, would that be like where you have the joints, or where the body is like
where the joint is rotating from? Maybe you can see that my palms is rotating from here, my wrists rotating from here, and my arm here, my elbow is rotating from here. So I think I should add pivot point here. I should create my pivot point here, create a pivot point here. We will continue to see how we will do that as we continue to move along. So for example, this guy, we are now in the leg, that is the leg of the character. We know that this leg is supposed to rotate from here. Exactly. So if we now, you can see where it's rotating from, right?
Makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but how do we make this leg to rotate, and also this feet should follow along? We'll see how we can do that as we continue to go along. So, because if this leg rotates, of course, this one's supposed to follow it, is it not? All right. So we will continue to. These are all what we call what we are doing now is rigging. We are currently rigging the character, positioning pivot points where the character is supposed to rotate from as we continue to go along. So this is the handle handle connector, right? So the handle, I want the handle connector to rotate from the bottom. You can see where the rotation tool is. So we have to move it all the way up and place it maybe here. I want this guy to rotate from here. You can see that, right? Can you see that? It's rotating from here. But I also want this guy, as this guy is rotating, I want this handle to follow it. Is it not? Because when this guy is rotating, automatically this handle is supposed to follow it. So we'll also see how we can do that with time. So we go to the next one. The hand, that is the right hand, we are going to place the pivot point. Of course, you should know where. Towards the wrist, around the wrist. So if we rotate it, it's going to rotate from here. Okay. Of course, once it's rotating, we are going to reposition this guy to fit in the way it should. All right. So we continue to do that for the other ones. Middle handle, we want it to rotate. These are just what I'm doing is called positioning pivot points. So I'm just positioning pivot points on different layers where I want them to rotate from. Maybe I want this guy to be rotating. Maybe when this guy is ringing, this guy will be rotating and vibrating like so or something like that. Do you understand? And also this guy will follow suit and also be vibrating just like the other guy. Just when they are ringing, maybe I want them to be vibrating, you know, and all that. So we'll all animate this. It's going to be fun when we start animating this, but we have to make sure that they are rigged properly. So we are going to position this one here, maybe somewhere here. We are not doing this thing very accurately. If we are going to do it very accurately, it's going to take more time. But because we don't have much time for this class, at least you understand what we are doing. We can actually use perfect circles to position them around the arms so that the arms will rotate perfectly well the way they are supposed to. But of course, I'm using my eye to eyeball it to know exactly where they are supposed to rotate from, because I've been doing this for years, so it should be a little bit
and I couldn't see this as the advanced to the where I can get this pivot point.
Okay, you can't see them. Go to Windows. If you can't see them, go to Windows, Toolbars, Advanced Animation. Make sure they are ticked.
Makes sense.
Have you done this?
So if that's the case, so well, it doesn't still. So when I click on that advanced animation, what else do I need to click to be able to place pivot points?
You click on the rotation tool there. You can see where my cursor is. Click on that tool that looks like a rotation, a circle with an arrow, with a point in the middle.
Makes sense now. Thank you.
Okay. All right, so I'll continue to create the pivot points where I want them to be. For the tongue, I want it to be somewhere in the tongue. For the teeth, I want it to be somewhere around that teeth. For the gum, of course, I want it to be there around that gum. For the lips, the same thing. For the mustache, yeah, for the mustache, it's going to be at this tip, at this point, so that if I rotate it, it's going to rotate perfectly from that middle point to wherever I want it to be. So I think one of these mustaches is supposed to be taller than the other because of the different handles. Maybe when we start to animate them,
yes, because of the long hand and short hand.
Yeah, maybe when we start to animate them, we can do that. But for now, let us leave them at the same size with each other. So I'll position this one at the middle here, and for the brow, I think I should leave it here. Maybe I want to rotate it from here, or you can still put it in the middle to rotate it from the middle, or you can put it here to rotate it from this side, depending on how you want your brow to be animated. But let me just leave it here. Then I'll go to the next one, to the pupil, and place it right at the middle of the pupil. For the eye, right at the middle, somewhere there. For the head, I think for the head, I don't know if I want it to rotate from here or from the middle. Maybe the middle will be fine. Okay, let's leave it at the middle. For the head too, you can do the same thing for the head too. And I think we are done with placing pivot points. Now, the next thing we should do before we start switching over to the other side, let's talk about coloring these characters. After coloring, we now start to parent them together, group them together. For example, the mouth are supposed to be grouped together. The left arm, everything here is supposed to be grouped together so that all of them will move around together. So let's see what we can do about this. So I can come here. Maybe let me remove this guy to make it easier for us. I can come here and I'll add another peg.
Another peg?
Yeah, another peg. How do you add a peg? Just click on the current peg where you want to attach another peg on and use Ctrl P, and it will add a second peg to it. Then I can now drag a wire from this peg and connect it to the hand so that this peg will now control both this hand peg and this right arm peg. But this right arm peg can still be able to move along on its own, and this hand peg can still be able to move along on its own. But this peg can control both of them. I have to also, of course, move my pivot point here. Then it can control all of them to move like so. You understand?
Yes, makes sense.
Okay, so we are still going to add what we call deformers. Because I want this arm, for example, I want this arm to be able to deform. Maybe the arm will crease like this and fold in. I want it to be able to deform that way. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to also use this opportunity.
Create an elbow, like put some pivot point at the elbow area.
Exactly. So there are two ways I could have done that. I could have maybe separated this arm, made it into two, make it an upper arm and a lower arm. So that this upper arm will be on its own, lower arm will be on its own, so that both of them will be able to rotate. But I didn't do it that way. So the second way I can do that is to create what we call deformers. But we are going to come to that after coloring. We need to start coloring this character before we can be able to perform more actions. Let us now go to our mouth and parent the mouth together, just like we have done for this guy. So we are going to come to the mouth and create a peg, Ctrl P. Let's connect those pegs to only the mouth part of this character so that we can be able to move this character, the mouth part of this character, around and I can still manipulate the individual pegs of the layer, of each of the layer if I want. But this one will be the peg that will control everything here. So I'll call it mount, right? Mount underscore P for peg. Okay, so the next one, which other next one we have? We have the leg. So let's do the same thing for the leg. I think we have the eye here. So the eye and the pupil and the brow are supposed to be parented together. Okay, so I will do the same thing. Control P, connect the pupil and connect the brow. Okay, then position my pivot point maybe around here so that these guys will be able to move on their own and still be able to control each and every one of the pegs there. The next one should be the leg.
The numbers. Oh, you have all the numbers together.
Yeah, the numbers are together. The reason why I did that, I think if I turn around to the other side or to the other views, the numbers can still squish or squash. I can still squish it or squash it in the same layer without having to go in and start positioning them each and every one of them together on all that. Unless I want this, I want to extrude. Assuming I want these numbers to be extruded as they turn around. You know what I mean by extruded, right? As they turn around like this, then I will have to create them in their own layers. Okay, but we might not do that. It's not going to be necessary because it will take us more time to do. But because of the fact that we don't want this class to exceed more than we want, so at least you have the basic knowledge. So if you now want to do all those ones, you can easily do them. All right, so let's go to the legs. I think the legs should be next. All we have to do is create a new peg and connect the foot to the peg, then use our pivot point and position it where we want it to rotate from, so that this guy can rotate from that point. All right, so we are going to talk about coloring this character. So how do we, which colors are we going to use for this character? You know, we didn't establish any colors for this character per se. We didn't establish any colors, so we can actually use any colors. Let's create a new palette for our clockington. For you to create a new palette, see what you're going to do. If you want to create a new palette, you go to the color tab, go to this icon here, go to palette, then new. Because this palette, I think, was for a previous class where we created clusters. And I don't want to use the same color palette for this clockington because I might want to change any of these colors. And if you change any of these colors that you used to create the cluster that we did in a previous class, it's going to change the color of that cluster. Any color you change here is going to affect that particular color in that cluster. And that cluster is still somewhere here. All right, and I'm still going to give you these project files to study. So we are not going to touch these colors for the cluster. We are going to rather create a new palette for clockington. So we are going to create new, call it clockington. Clockington, and click OK to create clockington color palette. So we have created the color palette for clockington. We will start to add colors to this clockington. So the first thing we are going to do, we want to change the line art of this clockington to better look like Disney line art. If you watch classic Disney cartoons, you see that their line arts are not black throughout. Their line art has a darker shade of the part of the character with a particular color. For example, my arm is kind of like a brown, a fair brown. Then the line art for this my hand will be a darker shade of the brown, not black, right? So we are going to apply the same principle here. So we are going to start with the head. Now I don't want my color to be exactly the same place where the network is. So I'll close this color and I'll come down here and I'll add it here. I'll add the color here. Okay, I think I might close the library and I'll add the color here. So I remove the color from this part and I pushed it down. So I'll be able to be on my network view, select my characters, and also see my color at the same time instead of switching between tabs here, right? So I'll go to my numbers and I'll look for, now I want these numbers to have thickness to them. I want them to have thickness. You see why I said, one of the reasons why I said let's use normal hand drawing, because this using this text will make the color look unattractive. It will make them look too mechanical, too serious. But if we drew them with hand, we can make them look cartoony. You know, maybe I can make them look cartoony, make them look anyhow I want. You understand what I'm trying to say? So I think it should be.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense.
After all, this guy,
looks dull.
yeah, make them look dull the way it is. So I think I will redraw them because I don't like the way they are looking. So what I will do is that I will start to, let me switch on back my my sketch. So I'll see those numbers again. Okay.
The new palette I created.
Yeah.
I can only see, when I created it, labeled it, I could only see defaults.
Yeah, exactly. That's what is on my own currently too. As you can see.
So if I now want to add colors to this default, I click on that.
You click on plus now.
Shape.
Plus. Continue clicking plus. Starting colors.
And then change the colors as I want to.
Exactly. You can just double click on any of the color to show you this palette. And you can start to move around, start to change the colors and blah blah blah. All right, so I want to recreate these numbers here. These numbers, they are looking too unattractive the way they are. So let's see. Let me make sure that I lock this layer. So let me just remove these guys. Let me delete them, or let me create a new layer for this one. Go to my insert element and create a new element. Let me connect it. I will draw them with hand so that they will look cartoony, so looking too mechanical. All right, so I'll go here and I'll draw this guy, and I want it to have thickness as well. Those ones doesn't have thickness, so I will create this guy. Two. Looking better. I can copy this one. Maybe this. I can copy this. This number one. Which one are you copying here? Okay. Position it here. I didn't copy it. Control C V. I copy it. Position it here. I can copy this two. Control C V. Position it here. And if I have other places I can position some of these guys, I can still copy this one. Control C V. Position it here. Control C V. Position it here. Good. Then I can now right through here. Okay. Okay. All right. So I can do my 4.
Yeah, makes more sense like that.
Yeah, makes more sense. Okay. So my 5. Okay. My 5 can be something like that. Okay. Review the size. And my 6, maybe like this. My 7, like that. Then my 8.
So,
all right, my 9.
this is happening in a new layer, right?
Yeah, you said?
This is a new layer we created.
Yeah, new layer, exactly. So I can still copy this one, Control C, Control V, and paste it here. Then if I have 0, I don't have 0, then I can simply draw. Now this one makes more sense, right? I can remove this this one and make this one the new peg and call it numbers. Good, wonderful. So that is it. So this is looking much better than the other one. So yeah, so we go back to our color So let's see the kind of colors we are going to add for this character. Let's call this first one headline. Let's call it headline. That is the line art for the head. Okay, so we go to the head. Go to the head. Which color are we going to use? You know, that is why also when you are creating the model sheet, you also color the character so that you know exactly the colors you are going to use when you are coloring your character in Toon Boom Hammer. But since we didn't establish that, maybe we can. I don't know if. Okay, let me give you an assignment. Go and look for suitable, nice cartoony colors for a clock like clockington, and submit it in our next class. We are going to use it to color this character, as our class is up already, 221. So that is the assignment I'm giving you for this one. Go and find nice suitable color for clockington that we are going to use to color this whole character. Once we color this character will start to come to shape and start to look more cute as we color it. Then we can now start to move the other portions of this character to the other side, and we'll now learn how to use deformers, how to attach deformers to some part of these characters. We are going to use just this drawing and create the other views. This other view, we will not need to draw these other views though. We will just use this guy and create the other views so that the other views will be able to animate, as in it will look like this character is actually turning. Do you understand? Without having to draw each of them the way we did with this sketch. All right. So as we continue to move along this class is going to continue to be fun. So please just do the assignment for the colors, so that in our next class we are going to look at the colors. We are going to do nice colors, get nice colors, wonderful colors, cute colors, attractive colors that children will love as well. Okay, so see you in the next class. And I think, is there any question you have before we call it a day?
Not for now. I just want to try things out here. Thank you.
Then make sure it's nice. They are nice colors. You can get different colors, even for the numbers. They can be different colors. Different colors, and so on and so forth. All right. See you in the next class. And
Cool.